Welcome in, everybody, to Betting Pros. It's time to place your bets. It is me, Joey P. Joe P's up here with me tonight, Scott Bogman, and it's you. And I know we're starting a little earlier than usual today, and that's because it's the holiday season and crazy things are going on. But we have Thursday night football for you. There's also Saturday football for you. There's Sunday football. There's Monday football. There's just football,
There's
basically.
football.
There's
Yeah,
football.
bowl season too. It's great.
Yeah,
It's a great time to be alive, Joe.
it
Right
is.
now, there's
It
so
is a
much
great time to
football.
be alive.
I love it.
So much football. We love it. We love having all of you here too, as well, hanging out with us. Again, sorry for the earlier start time, but kids in their concerts, you gotta support the children. They're our
Mm,
future, Bogman, or so I've
That's
been told.
right.
Yeah, there you
I
go.
mean,
Now
your
tonight,
children, not my
no,
children.
no, my children are the future. Your children are cats. So
That's right.
that's a little different there. But we've got a fun game potentially for you here with playoff implications. We've got the 7-7 New Orleans Saints and the 7-7 Los Angeles Rams going at it tonight. This one's going to be in LA. The New Orleans Saints story this year, Bogman, if you can encapsulate it, would be what?
7-7 feels exactly right. I mean, I do believe they had one of the easiest schedules coming into the season, if I'm not remembering incorrectly here. And they haven't been very good. So 7-7 feels exactly right for them. Derek Carr has been less than 100% in a lot of games. The defense has had a lot of injuries. But the division is winnable. So they are still alive. And like you said, playoff implications in this game somehow this late in the season for the Saints and the Rams.
Yep. And in terms of the Rams, a team that, with Kyron Williams to come back healthy, all of a sudden you've seen Matthew Stafford play much better football. He's been upright as well. So that's been huge, getting that run game going, really supporting him, taking a lot of pressure off him. Cooper Kupp's health improving. Puka Nacua, obviously, start to finish the season has been a very important piece. And it feels like the Rams are in a spot where this is a game where you win this football game and you become a player here in this hunt of the playoffs. And I think the NFC, outside of the juggernaut San Francisco 49ers, any team that gets hot here in the NFC, I think could make a run.
Boy, there is a lot of parity in the NFL this
Yeah.
year. And I like it better that way. I like parity where a different team can win. Makes betting harder, right? But I do like it. And it's a more enjoyable product. Thursday Night Football still not my favorite, but this Rams team, this was bleak going into the season. Like even McVay was thinking about hanging him up and do TV for a couple years before coming back because this roster was so bad. But they have found pieces, surprisingly, on defense too. They've found some pieces and been able to put it together. I thought this defense was going to be abysmal. It's like below average to middle of the road, which for this team with that offense is great. It's workable. So they have been a surprise where the Saints have kind of been right where we thought they were going to be with the injuries they've had.
All right, let's take a look at the lines for tonight. Take a look at the props as well. Before we do that, just a quick reminder, there's free stuff. If you want a chance to win a free premium 1-year subscription to Betting Pros, your place to start betting smarter, not harder, you need to subscribe to the Betting Pros YouTube channel right now. Comment below on this video, and that's it. We'll be announcing the winner right here on the channel, so make sure you turn on those notifications so you can be alerted when new episodes drop, and if you are the winner, so you can claim your prize. All right, Boggs, let's take a look at it here. New Orleans, the best number you can get there is +4.5 on Betting Pros at -110 at Caesars, -4 on the side of the Los Angeles Chargers at -110 at BetMGM, the under 45.5 -110 at BetMGM, the over 45.5 -110 at Caesars, and then the Saints on the money line at +180, which is in play because, as you said, the Saints are a 7-7 team. They show up when you least expect it and don't show up when you absolutely expect them to. They are an enigma. They are a very tough team to figure out. To me, I just feel like the Rams are a team that is going in the right direction at the right time. And although they don't have a home field advantage, I think the advantage is in the short week they are in their own building. We have seen a lot of chaos, though, on these standalone games. Last week, another chaotic game there from the Eagles' perspective. We thought on Monday night that, this is the get-right game for the Eagles. And I think a lot of people thought that, despite the health of Jalen Hurts, and it was not. But I'm going to still stick with the Rams here. The 4 is a lot, though. That's my trouble here. Boggs, what are your thoughts on this game?
Listen, well, first of all, my thoughts are listen to Joe on the side of these games recently. I've been okay on the props. I was 4 for 5 on Monday.
You're great. You've been great on props all year, bro. All
Which
year you've been great.
look, thank you for that. And so I've been good there. But recently, I mean, I started hot with my picks on these games. The end I'm fading, but you're doing well. So follow Joe. My personal opinion in this game is just take the points. Whoever's getting points in this game, I want points. I'll also take the under just because I think maybe this is propped up a little bit because both these teams can score, but it's still Thursday night on short rest, blah, blah. So I will go with the Saints in the under, but I don't have a good feel. Wait for my props. That's what I would say in this game. This one is too tight for me to really have a good feeling on it.
If anything, too, I'm leaning towards the over on this one. I'll tell you why, because I think that there are enough offensive pieces in this one to let it go. And I would also say this last week, I thought for sure the Rams were going to stomp a mud hole, and then they did, but then they kind of let their foot off the gas a little bit. Now, I'm not exactly sure if we can quantify that or talk a little bit more about that, but that worries me. The backdoor cover of New Orleans worries me a little bit too. But more than anything, I think the over at the 45.5, I think we get there. I think this LA Rams team is going to put up points tonight. I think they're going to be pretty strong here. And I think New Orleans would do enough to keep this one competitive. At the end of the day, I see the Rams winning this one by a touchdown. I don't want to tease this up necessarily, though, because I'm not that confident in it. So I'll take the Rams in the 4. But yeah, look, basically what we've done a lot here and what Bogman's talking about is I take value. And if it's one of these standalone short week games and you're giving me 2-1 on a game, I'm going to take the 2-1 odds. Like, I'm just going to do it. And you know what? We've been doing that and practicing that in these standalones. And for the most part, it's been pretty good this year. A couple of hiccups. And it's funny, the times where things have gone south is the times we've gone against it, right? Like Monday night, for instance. And there was another game not too long ago that we thought was, this is probably going to go, very rote. And it turned out same thing, So really nothing is safe here. That being said, even with nothing safe necessarily in this game, I'm still taking the Rams side. Joe's got a question. Is it a better bet for Kamara under rushing or over receiving, and then better receiving prop for Cooper Kupp or Puka Nacua? I'm going to start with the Kupp one. I would go over the Cooper Kupp ones. I think we are in a place where it's safe to go out and Cooper Kupp again. So Kupp is the guy for me. But what about the Kamara one for you? Rushing under or over on receiving? Which way would you go?
I mean, if I'm taking something for Kamara, it's definitely going to be over. And I know he's been used less frequently recently, but the goal is still get the ball to Kamara. So I would go with the over there on whatever you're taking. I do have in my 5, I do have the over on receiving yards for Kamara. I also have the over on Kupp for receiving yards. So yeah, I like both those calls, Joe. Those are solid ones.
All right, let's continue on here. Let's take a look at the props. Before we do, don't forget we've got NBA action right here on the channel every Wednesday, every Friday. NBA Best Bets live with Matt Modi, 11 a.m. Eastern. So if you're interested in betting the NBA or checking it out for the first time, go do it. It's fun. It's fast. It's furious. It's NBA betting. Go check it out right here on our channel. All right, Boggs, let's take a look at the props. Let's start with Derek Carr. You've got 1.5 passing touchdowns plus 145 at DK. The over. Talk to me.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't love Carr, but the Rams are getting torched through the air. Brissett threw 2 touchdowns against them last week on 10 pass attempts, right? Lamar threw 3 touchdowns. Murray only had 1, but he also ran for 1. So only the Broncos have a worse PFF coverage than the Rams as well. Witherspoon is the only corner that's rated decently for them in terms of coverage grade on PFF or safety. And he's going to play, but he is less than 100%. And the Saints pass the ball a bunch, a lot because they're down, but also because it's what Dennis Allen does. Dennis Allen says, look, I have a solid defense and a pretty decent run game, so let's throw the ball a lot, which is why none of us like Dennis Allen. So I think the over on passing touchdowns at this number where you're almost 1.5 times at plus 145, I like the number the most, but also the fact that the Rams have been giving it up, and I don't like their secondary. So
the plus 145 is a great number. There's no way around it. Prodigy's fun here. I'm starting Puka in fantasy playoffs. Do I bet anytime touchdown for Kyron and Kupp to mitigate my pain? Yes. Yes, you do. In fact, I've got a way to do that for you. Stick around, Prodigy, because I've got a lineup for you here in terms of betting that I think makes a lot of sense. There's a couple ways to approach it. We'll talk about that in a second after Bogman gets through his props. So we've got Derek Carr off the slate. Check. Alvin Kamara, 13.5 rushing attempts plus 105 over on DK. You like the over on that one too?
Yeah, look, like I said, his snap percentage has been going down, but he has had more than this in 3 of his last 4 weeks, and while he's seeing fewer snaps, the overall thought process is still get the ball to Alvin Kamara. We saw him after his suspension. This has been what the Saints do: get the ball, put the ball in the hands of your best playmaker. So Kamara gets the ball a lot. So I think he's going to touch the ball over 20 times in this game. So these 13.5 rush attempts, I really like.
All right. Next one on the board here, Jamal Williams, 5.5 rushing attempts plus 120 over on DK. And you're going over on this one too.
Yeah, look, I think what your plan is, if you are the Saints, even though you have been passing the ball too much, it should be, let's run the football. Let's run the ball. Let's keep that offense off the field, right? The Saints and the Rams both are like well above average in terms of time of possession. So it's hard to know which way this one is going to pan. Usually in that, you take whoever is favored, right? So you would take the Rams in that. But knowing that, the strategy should be run the ball. Like I said before, we've seen Jamal Williams have a higher snap percentage recently. He's, I believe he's hit this in the last 2 weeks. So, and it's again a bet with solid plus juice. So not too many of these this week. And not a lot of bets that I like this week. You know, we learn more about these teams as the year goes on. We learn more about their strategy, but so does Vegas. So you give Vegas the credit as well. Not a ton of numbers I like this week in the prop market for this game, but this was one of them.
All right, next one is Cooper Kupp, and this one I like. In my mind, I was going to set it at 75.5 earlier in the week. The number came out at 73.5, so I'm over this one. I just think Cooper Kupp is back. I think we're back in a good spot here. And if you look at the last couple of weeks, he's gone over 100 both weeks, both with 8 receptions, 8 targets in one game, 10 in the other. So to me, this is an easy one here in the 73.5.
Well, I mean, think of it this way: 73.5 is the number for Kupp. Slayton had 63 yards last week, right? Adam Thielen had 74 the week before. I understand that Amon-Ra was held to only 49 3 weeks ago, right? But Laporta went nuts in that game, 140 and a touchdown. So Kupp is back. He's the number 1 target again. He's going to have more yards in this as long as he catches the ball, and he's going to. So, yeah, I love this bet.
Last one is Kamara over 30.5 receiving yards at minus 110. This one's over on FanDuel as well.
Look, the Rams have given up the fewest receiving yards to running backs this season, but I kind of think that stat is a little fluky, and it's a little based on who you've played. Kamara is just involved. He's gone over 30 yards receiving in 9 of 11 games he's played. He's gone 4 or more receptions in 9 of 11 games that he's played. So most of the time he's getting so many catches that the yards are going to come with them because he's Alvin Kamara. So if he catches the ball 4 times, I expect him to go well over 30 yards, probably break one of those for a big chunk of it, and, just slide with the rest. So, yeah, this is going to be a heavy Alvin Kamara game because it's on a short rest. And, hopefully the rest of these we can get. I mean, I think we got Kupp on lock, right? The one that I question is the 2 passing touchdowns. Touchdowns are more fluky. But
again, yeah.
Rams have been giving it up, plus the number is great. So
yeah, and giving it up in the second half of games too sometimes. Here's my approach to this game here. I still like the Rams side, so I'm getting minus 4.5 with the Rams. I'll take the Kyren Williams anytime touchdown, even though it's heavily juiced. Because I think that's a lock tonight. Like, I don't see that not Kyren Williams not getting in the end zone tonight.
I had a hard time not taking his yardage prop.
Well,
too.
But here's how you do it. You take the minus 190 Kyren Williams, the spread of 4.5, and then the Cooper Kupp over 73.5. You put that together on FanDuel, you get plus 335. So you take the over, which we think is a lock with Cooper Kupp. We take the Kyren Williams, which we think touchdown, which again heavily juiced. So Vegas is telling you they think it's a lock too. And then the little bit of variance is the Rams. Now, if you don't like the Rams side and you like Bogman's side of this game, instead, you can turn around and do the other side and take New Orleans and put it in there, and you'll get 4-1. You'll get plus 478. So to me, that's the structure of this. And if you want to hedge and do both, hedge and do both. Like there's no reason to do that because you're building it off of two things that are what we think are lock plays tonight, which is the cup over in receiving and then the touchdown over for Kyron Williams. So put those two things together and then play the two variance games. You put a unit on each of them. Guess what? You're still going to come out plus at the end of the day because it's 3-1 and then almost 5-1. So maybe you're rooting for that backdoor cover for the Saints. You're rooting for the Saints to, who knows, play better than we realized tonight. But you could do both of those and still come out on the positive tonight, Box. What do you think of that?
Yeah, look, I like those strategies, and make it fun. You don't have to put a ton of money on it. Debro is telling us he likes Olave over receptions. So here's my thing, and I like Olave. And anytime you want to bet overs on Olave, I understand it. My thing is like a guy coming in just a little bit gimpy. I don't know. Like I don't know. I don't know about betting those guys. And on the defensive side, I don't like the tackle props. I think they're all either juiced terribly or the tackle number is too high because we don't know who's going to have the crazy time of possession because both these teams are over average in time of possession. So I don't think it's going to lean one way big to one team or the other. So I don't really like the tackle props because of that. Defensive line props, I don't know, man. Aaron Donald is going to get in there, but his sack number is juiced. Maybe Carl Granderson. So Carl Granderson over, I think, is getting you some decent plus money. He's a little gimpy too, though, which is why I didn't put him on this sheet. So
yeah, seriously. All right, let's continue on. I'm not sure who Adam. Coach says we need Adam on the show. Worked here a long time.
Think he means Erickson?
Andrew?
I think so.
So, Coach, as far as accuracy goes, maybe you're off on your accuracy.
I'm not sure who Adam is.
There you go, Coach. There you go in terms of accuracy. All right. Again, just to recap here, Boggs is in on the New Orleans plus 3.5. I'm on the other side with the Rams at minus 4.5 or 4, wherever you can get the 4. Boggs on the under, I'm on the over. We're just Splitsville on this game. So somebody's going to be right and somebody's going to be wrong. Boggs is in on the Derek Carr over 1.5 passing touchdowns, the Alvin Kamara over 13.5 rushing attempts, and over 30.5 receiving yards. Jamal Williams over 5.5 rushing attempts, and Cooper Kupp over 73.5 receiving yards. I want to put together the Cooper Kupp receiving yards with the Kyron Williams touchdown. And then you can take either side of the game. If you take the Rams side, you're getting 3-1. If you take the points with the Saints, you're getting almost 5. You're getting plus 478. So choose your adventure, however you think you want to do it tonight. And if you do both, you're going to come out positive. Again, you're going to cap what you can make. But if the alternate one hits and the Saints hit, you're going to come out a little bit better. Otherwise, you're still going to be positive. I think that's a really interesting way to look at tonight's action. Don't forget to drop your comments below. Subscribe to the channel here. And, of course, want everybody to have a very healthy and happy holiday season. We won't be here Monday because, well, it's Christmas Day, governor. So we'll be enjoying our Christmas holiday and our football along with you there. But there's still a lot of betting content. Boggs and Andrew and myself all did a line show today for week 16. Tomorrow, the prop show is going to come out. So stay tuned for all of those shows to keep you updated on all your week 16 betting needs. That'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on for Scott Bogman. I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids.
See ya.